Hey guys, I'm Claire, the Fiddle Leaf Fig girl, and today I'm going to talk to you about a really important topic, and that is the perfect drainage situation for your Fiddle Leaf Fig. Now, it's really important to provide perfect drainage for these plants because they do not like to sit in water, and if you don't have good drainage, they will eventually die and probably get root rot and drop leaves and eventually not be in a good situation. So you're going to want to make sure to build a really good drainage foundation, and I'll tell you exactly how to do that. So step one is you need to have a container with drainage holes. If you ever try to grow a Fiddle Leaf Fig in a container that doesn't have drainage, it eventually will perish, I promise. It's really, really hard to do that, and your plant will never be as healthy as it could. So you definitely want to have a container that has big drainage holes. And then the next thing you want to do is consider using a product that will help create a ballast and help provide better drainage. So this is really a cool trick that will make your life easier, and it'll make it so much easier to have a healthy Fiddle Leaf Fig, is starting with a really, really good foundation. We make this Houseplant Smart Gravel, and so what you do is you put a layer at the bottom of your container, and it's these big clay balls that act as a ballast. They hold up your root ball and they prevent root rot, and they prevent your plant from sitting in water at the bottom of the pot. So this is just some insurance that your plant will be healthy and won't suffer from root rot because it won't be sitting in that water. So step three is picking the perfect soil for your plant. Now, Fiddle Leaf Figs like a very well-aerated, fast-draining soil. They don't like just any old houseplant soil that's gonna hold on to too much water. They really like their roots to stay dry, and so you wanna pick a very fast-draining soil. We make a soil that is made specifically for Fiddle Leaf Figs. It is the perfect blend of nutrients and aeration so that it holds on to water enough for your plant to absorb water, but drains fast enough so that your plant doesn't get root rot. So make sure you pick the correct soil so that your plant will be able to have that perfect drainage. So you can either buy a soil specifically for a Fiddle Leaf Fig if you really want to invest in your plant, or you could make your own. So you could get a regular houseplant soil, and then you could mix it with 1 part bark, 1 part perlite, and then 1 part cactus mix or citrus mix. Mix this all together and it'll be this light, fluffy, well-draining soil. So you may have to kind of play around with the different parts to get it right, but you basically want it to be lighter than a typical indoor soil. And then the last trick I want to give you about providing proper drainage for your plant is not using too large of a pot. A lot of people don't understand, but if you use a pot that is too large and there's too much soil surrounding your root ball, it holds onto a lot of water. So in a sense, you're ruining your drainage by just having too much soil and too much water around your plant. Fiddle Leaf Figs really kind of like to be on the root bound side, so you're going to want to use a smaller pot. When you repot your plant, just go up maybe 4 inches in diameter each time you repot, instead of making big jumps where you're going to basically create a bad drainage situation for your plant. And then my final tip for the perfect drainage for your Fiddle Leaf Fig is to always use a soil meter before you water. So we make a 3-in-1 soil meter specifically for Fiddle Leaf Figs, and it comes with instructions on how to use it for a fiddle. But what you want to do is just fact check your drainage. So stick it all the way down to the bottom of your pot and see how wet it is at the low point, the middle point, and the high point. And that way you can make sure your drainage is working properly. We want it to be a number 4 or less before you water. And so the perfect drainage conditions for a Fiddle Leaf Fig would have it be maybe a 5 at the bottom, maybe a 4 mid-level, and maybe a 3 or a 2 at the top. And that's the point that you water again. And so that would be the perfect drainage conditions for your Fiddle Leaf Fig. Check out some of these tools and tricks and see if you can meet the challenge of creating a perfect drainage of a Fiddle Leaf Fig. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.